everyone. Are you ready to see some beautiful girls in gorgeous costumes? Me too. My name is Stephanie KAMMER, the choreographer of the Miss Universe pageant, and we are so excited to have you with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. With that said, welcome to Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas for our 2017 Miss Universe National Costume Show. Let's give it up for our hosts this evening, Nick and Nia.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Planet Hollywood. How are we feeling tonight? Yeah. We are your hosts. I'm Nia, and this is Nick. And for those of you who have never seen a national costume show, it's a Miss Universe tradition that dates all the way back to 1962.
Yes, that was a fantastic year. I remember it well. And here's the thing, guys. I'll just break it down for you. Here is how tonight's show works. Nia and I will call out a country name. The contestants, they're going to come out in a costume that represents their home country.
Right, and I'm really excited to see these girls. I'm wondering what Miss Italy's costume is going to look like. What do you think?
I'm going to guess a pizza.
Maybe. Okay, what about Miss Belgium? What will her costume be?
Likely a waffle.
Doubtful. How about Miss Poland?
Sausage?
Okay, you do realize they don't all dress as food, right?
Actually, I was not aware of that, no.
Okay, so all of you aren't as confused as Nick. When the contestants come out tonight, we'll give you some facts about them and what they chose to wear. And just for kicks, each of the descriptions will end in a fun little rhyme.
All right, and before you really bash the rhymes, you should know that all the contestants did ask for them. So, what do you say? You guys ready to get this thing started?
Let's go.
Let's start the show.
Albania. This national costume is based on a traditional garment that was first worn by her country's people more than a century ago. Looking bold in a design that's old, Albania.
Angola. So sparkly. When choosing her national costume, Angola was inspired by a 17th century queen, as well as colors worn by women in the southern part of her nation. It's no mystery, she's inspired by history, Angola.
Argentina. Representing the tango, which originated in her country in the 1880s, Argentina's costume also honors the accordion music that traditionally accompanies performances. You'll dance for days when her accordion plays. Argentina.
Aruba. Aruba's costume was inspired by 19th century gold mines located on her island. Her favorite part is the shoulder piece, which reveals a hidden surprise. Lo and behold, this girl's full of gold, Aruba.
Australia. Australia's national costume represents our country's iconic opera house. This hand-beaded garment features functioning lights and conceptual fireworks like the ones launched on New Year's Eve. It's no wonder this costume's a hit down under, Australia.
All right, let's see what's coming up next. It looks like Austria. Austria's costume honors one of her nation's female icons, Bertha von Suttner, a novelist who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1905. Nothing makes her grin like a Nobel Prize win, Austria.
Bahamas. Bahamas is home to the Queen Conch, which was the inspiration behind this national costume. Prized for their decorative shells and pearls, they inhabit the coral reefs of the Caribbean Sea. Life sure is swell when you're inspired by a shell. Bahamas.
Barbados. This costume conjures the Carnival spirit. It embodies her country's 6-week annual celebration when costume revelers parade through the streets in spectacular attire. If you like Carnival, then you'll have a ball with Barbados.
Belgium, representing the French, Flemish, and German communities that make up Belgium, this costume incorporates the colors of the Belgian flag and two of the country's national icons, inspired by a flag and some other swag. Belgium.
All right, slowly making her way to the sweet stage, we have Bolivia. Representing both regions of the country, this design was inspired by Bolivia's two national flowers. She loves the bold colors that make this costume really pop. Inspired by flowers, this costume empowers Bolivia.
Brazil. Brazil's costume was inspired by the delicate ecosystem of the Amazon rainforest. She hopes it inspires people to protect our environment. It's certainly worth protecting the earth, like Brazil.
Please welcome British Virgin Islands. Inspired by the devastation of Hurricane Irma, this costume represents the beautiful beaches of the British Virgin Islands that managed to survive. It's not a reach to say life's a beach when you're British Virgin Islands.
Bulgaria. Bulgaria's national costume represents traditional attire in her country. Her favorite accessories are the red rose headpiece and the necklace made of coins. Surely no one opposes a head full of roses. Bulgaria.
Cambodia. This national costume is made of high-quality Cambodian silk, usually reserved for special occasions, such as weddings and formal events. The gold crown is worn by dancers when they perform for the gods. Who wouldn't be down with a large golden crown like Cambodia's?
Canada. Called the Queen of Ice, Canada's national costume was inspired by Canadian winters and the mountaintops of the Rockies. Looking nice, covered in ice, Canada.
Please welcome Cayman Islands. This large green costume represents the beautiful plumage of the parrot, the official bird of the Cayman Islands. Not sure if you've heard, she's a gigantic green bird, Cayman Islands.
Chile. Chile's national costume was inspired by a mythological bird from the Atacama Desert. According to legend, it feeds on gold and silver, bringing luck to those who spot it. Everyone behold, she's a bird that eats gold. Chile.
You guys are going to see plenty of birds tonight, don't worry. Ah, here comes Nia's biggest fan.
But
And that is China. Created by a lingerie designer, China's national costume features a large red fan inspired by traditional paper cutting techniques. This contestant's plan was to dress like a fan, China.
Colombia. Colombia's national costume incorporates hand-woven fabric from a town where women are known to balance baskets of fruit on their heads to sell at the market. This hand-woven suit comes with a handful of fruit. Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia in the house tonight. Who are you guys here to see?
One more time, who are you guys cheering for tonight? Okay.
All right, well, here we have Costa Rica. Honoring her country's gold museum in San Jose, Costa Rica's massive costume features golden peacock feathers and plenty of crystals. If you're a fan of bling, get a load of this thing, Costa Rica.
Croatia. Made of lace, this costume took 2 months to complete. It was hand-painted by a Croatian artist to represent the country's 5 elements: sea, sky, mountains, sun, and rivers. If you're looking for lace, you found the right place. Croatia.
Or if you're looking to race, my gosh, was she fast. All right, Curacao. Curacao is the doll on top of it. Uh-oh. She's the doll on top of an 8-layer confection in this national costume meant to represent the traditional cake served at weddings and communions. It doesn't hurt to dress like dessert when you're Curacao.
Czech Republic. This traditional Czech folk costume has been modernized, but the design retains features and embellishments indicative of villages located throughout her country. Looking fine in this floral design, Czech Republic.
Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic's costume represents the monarch butterflies that call her island nation home. This butterfly sure caught our eye, Dominican Republic.
Ecuador. Weighing in at 22 pounds, Ecuador's costume represents the continental regions that make up her nation: the coast, the mountains, the east, and the Galapagos Islands. This costume's grand and represents her great land, Ecuador.
Egypt. This costume represents the era of Egyptian history when women began ruling the nation. Her favorite part is the hand-sewn belt, which features designs dating back to 2200 BC. Nothing is cooler than this female ruler, Egypt.
Welcome to the stage, El Salvador. El Salvador's national costume was inspired by a love story between a warrior and a river goddess, who, according to legend, can only be seen by people that are pure of heart. If your heart is pure, one thing's for sure: you'll like El Salvador.
All right, while she slowly rows her way down the runway, let me talk to you a little bit about Sunday's show, the big telecast. You guys excited for it? Steve Harvey will be back.
And Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham backstage. And of course, we have a performance from Fergie. So that's pretty exciting.
Ooh.
And looks like El Salvador, you might want to sweep up some of those green feathers on your way out. All right, coming up now, we've got Ethiopia. Ethiopia's national costume represents garments that are traditionally worn by royalty in her country. A sight to be seen, this was made for a queen, Ethiopia.
Finland. Finland is wearing a garment made by hand in the 1950s and based on a design that dates back more than a century. She chose the costume to honor the 100th anniversary of Finland's independence. Truth be told, this costume's quite old. Finland.
France. Designed by a famous French fashion house, this costume represents the sport of fencing at the 2024 Olympic Games, which will be held in Paris. If you're great with a sword, you might win the award. France.
Georgia. Made from red velvet and embellished with crystals, this national costume features traditional Georgian designs. She went ahead and wore something red. Georgia.
Germany. A modernized Snow White-inspired gown, this costume honors the 19th century German fairy tale. Her favorite part of the costume is the unique choker. Looking all right, dressed as Snow White, it's Germany.
Ghana. Representing the rich cultural resources of Africa's Gold Coast, Ghana's national costume is a sheer, fitted yellow dress adorned with crystals and peacock feathers. A peacock feather holds this outfit together. Ghana.
Great Britain. Honoring Queen Elizabeth I, who was one of the most powerful monarchs and Britain's first influential queen, this costume fuses tradition and glamour. Not sure if you've seen, but she's dressed like a queen. Great Britain.
Guam. Celebrating her island's 70th anniversary as a territory, this national costume literally puts Guam on the map. The blue color represents the vast oceans, and the red stripe symbolizes the bloodshed in her country prior to achieving peace. It's a snap to dress up like a map when you're Guam.
Guatemala. Guatemala's national costume was inspired by a tradition in her country where people fly kites over cemeteries to promote peace while also scaring away evil spirits. We're happy to say she'll keep evil at bay, Guatemala.
Guyana. It took 5 people to pack this national costume for transit to Las Vegas. Made of beads that cascade into a plume of feathers, it symbolizes the world's largest single drop waterfall, which is known as the Jewel of Guyana. Feathers and beads is all this costume needs. Guyana.
Here comes Haiti. Created by a Haitian designer, this costume illustrates the lengths that women in Haiti will go to in order to feed their families. Women, who make up 60% of the nation's workforce, carry the weight of the country on their backs. Her country's surviving because the women are thriving. Haiti.
Honduras. This colorful carnival costume represents El Indio, who fought against colonization by the Europeans. Asked to describe her costume in 3 words, Honduras chose party, party, party. If you want a costume that's fun, this outfit's the one. Honduras.
Iceland. Channeling the spirit of strong Viking women, Iceland is wearing a national costume comprising black feathers, faux fish skins, and a battery-powered axe that lights up. This Viking sure is striking. Iceland.
Let's welcome India. This costume represents the goddess of love and purity. Weighing in at nearly 45 pounds, it features a back piece inspired by the lotus, her country's national flower. It takes serious power to lift this heavy flower. India.
Indonesia. This costume is entitled Warrior of the Orangutan. She chose this costume in order to raise awareness of the impact deforestation is having on the animal's natural habitat. Give a round of applause for this costume with a cause, Indonesia.
Iraq. Sarah's costume was inspired by an ancient civilization, national culture, and a futuristic vision of modern Iraqi women. It's a blast bouncing from future to past with Iraq.
Ireland. Ireland describes her national costume as a modern-day Irish superhero. She was inspired by the fact that while her country may be small, it's very mighty. Looking stylish, she's undeniably Irish. Ireland.
Israel. Israel's national costume depicts the popular comic book character Wonder Woman. The star of the 2017 Wonder Woman film is none other than Miss Israel 2004, Gal Gadot. Stealing the show, dressed as Gal Gadot, it's Israel.
Italy. Italy's embroidered costume was provided by a well-known designer who is also the artistic director of an event that takes place along the Grand Canal in Venice. This outfit's a salute to a country shaped like a boot, Italy.
Jamaica. Depicting the legend behind Jamaica's Martha Brae River, this costume represents a mythical mermaid who was instrumental in a battle between the Spaniards and Latinos. No one could throw shade at this stunning mermaid. Jamaica.
Japan. Japan's national costume transforms from a ninja-inspired ensemble into a traditional Japanese kimono. From the land of the rising sun, she's got two costumes in one. Japan.
Kazakhstan. Handmade by a famous Kazakh designer, this gown is embellished with natural pearls and crystals, topped off with a traditional bridal hat and veil. Beaming with pride while dressed as a bride, Kazakhstan.
As she makes her way to the stage, let's give a hand for Paula Shugart, the president of Miss Universe, sitting right there in the front row. And welcome, CORREA. Korea's national costume was inspired by garments traditionally worn by her country's queens. She feels like royalty in this red silk robe. If you see what I'm seeing, you'll love this Korean, CORREA.
Next up, Laos. Made from authentic silk, this golden garment is undeniably regal. The fabric's ornate patterns and intricate details are indicative of her nation's iconic textiles. I bet the house on this costume from Laos. Laos.
All right, welcome, Lebanon. This decades-old garment was once worn by a famous Lebanese singer, actress, and fashion icon during one of her movies. It's not bizarre to be dressed like a star when you're Lebanon.
Welcome to the stage, Malaysia. This costume represents the national food of Malaysia, known as fat rice. The banana leaf on the back was made using a traditional technique in which candle wax is dipped on silk. It must be nice to be dressed up like rice. Malaysia!
Malta. Her country's top carnival designers created this costume for Malta. It features a flurry of feathers, a beautiful headpiece, and the white and red colors of the Maltese flag. This headpiece is authentic Maltese, Malta.
Mauritius. This national costume is a dress worn by dancers performing a lively, joyous dance. She's also carrying the musical instrument that is traditionally used to accompany the dancers. She's happy to dance when given the chance. Mauritius.
Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Mexico chose a well-known artist and feminist as the inspiration behind her national costume. She believes in always fighting for the rights of women in her country. This costume fights to promote women's rights, Mexico.
Myanmar. Myanmar's massive national costume represents a traditional Burmese folk music ensemble of gongs and drums. You'll know when she's coming, 'cause you'll hear the loud drumming. Myanmar. Let's give that one another round of applause.
That looks heavy. And guys, just so you know, you will be able to vote for a finalist this year. Just make sure you head on over to vote.missuniverse.com for details. And please welcome Namibia. Coordinating with her campaign to protect the white rhino and stop poaching, Namibia chose this simple garment which sends a powerful message. It isn't preposterous to save a rhinoceros when you're Namibia.
Nepal. Dubbed the embodiment of spirituality, Nepal's costume represents the spiritual path humans take on their journey to nirvana. The circular golden headpiece weighs in at nearly 7 pounds. Wear this if you wanna take a trip to nirvana, Nepal.
Keep that energy up, folks. There's only about 120 countries to go. Okay, welcome to the stage, Netherlands. Created by a Dutch designer, this costume incorporates elements from her country's flag, which features 3 lions. She's also wearing custom finger ornaments made from gold. If you're trying to look like a lion, see Netherlands.
New Zealand. A depiction of the goddess of fire. New Zealand's costume features black feathers. Those feathers represent the misperceptions that shadow her indigenous people. With a strong desire to be the goddess of fire, it's New Zealand.
All right, Nicaragua. This national costume represents the base of a famous volcano in her country. The beautiful, bright colors are a source of pride for this contestant. Look out below, this volcano might blow, Nicaragua.
Nigeria. Behold the Nigerian coat of arms. It represents unity and faith. Preach and progress, featuring an eagle and horse. It's a coat of arms, of course. Nigeria.
For those of you watching in-house here, just remember the preliminary competition is on this very stage Monday night, co-hosted by the reigning Miss Universe, who I see in the audience. Give her a hand. All right, and please turn your attention to Norway. Here we have a goddess Viking. This all-white look is meant to represent the snowy mountains and the Norwegian winter. She's a delight, all decked out in white, Norway.
Panama. This contestant brought 2 different national costume options with her. One was inspired by Pearls of the Pacific Island, and the other by the national eagle of her country. Who really knows, but I'm guessing she chose the eagle. Panama.
Paraguay. Welcome, Wind Woman. This headpiece features feathers and an arrow, representing the strength and wildness of her country's women. It'd be wrong to think the wind wasn't strong, like Paraguay.
Peru. This national costume is inspired by a warrior's son. The sun was the god of the Incas and gave strength to its people. It sure is fun to be a warrior son, like Peru.
Let's hear it for Philippines. Please welcome the golden chicken, a legendary bird and mainstay of southern Philippines art. The large headpiece, golden swimsuit and skirt is a symbol of good fortune. If your luck needs a booster, check out this golden rooster, Philippines.
Poland. This costume is inspired by her country's coat of arms, which features a white eagle in a gold crown. A bird in a crown is how she gets down. Poland!
Portugal. Because her country is close to the sea, Portugal's national costume is blue. It represents both a body of water and sea life. It doesn't get much hotter than this body of water, Portugal.
Puerto Rico. The red flamboyant is one of the most colorful trees in the world. The tree is originally from Madagascar, but is iconic in Puerto Rico. As you can see, she's dressed like a tree. Puerto Rico.
Romania. This national costume represents Transylvania's own Dracula. But fear not, as Miss Romania says, this version of Dracula is both feminine and well-mannered. It's a lot less scary when Dracula's merry, like Romania.
Russia. This national costume is representative of a Russian style of ceramics. The skirt is decorated with flowers and embroidered with stones and crystals. Seeing her dressed as pottery is like winning the lottery. Russia.
Here comes St. Lucia. This costume represents one of St. Lucia's rarest species, the whiptail lizard. The lizard is under the threat of extinction due to climate change. It's easy to smile when you save a reptile like St. Lucia.
Singapore. This outfit is inspired by one of Singapore's most iconic structures, the Super Tree. Her country is known as the Garden City, so the costume is embellished with flowers and LED lights. I beg your pardon, is she dressed like a garden? Singapore.
Slovak Republic. This blue costume is adorned with traditional Slovakian ornaments. It was made by a well-known Slovakian designer who typically works with classic blue materials. It's certainly true, this contestant loves blue, maybe a little black. Slovak Republic.
Slovenia. Dressed as a traditional Slovenian fairy, this costume consists of 2 overlapping dresses and a shawl made from netting. A cloth headpiece completes the look. Being surrounded by nets is as good as it gets for Slovenia.
South Africa. This costume is inspired by South Africa's national flower, the Queen Protea. It is DEMI-LEIGH's favorite flower and sprouts mainly in the region that she grew up in. You might try, but you can't look as good as this plant, South Africa.
Spain. Over the past months, designers worked around the clock to get this costume done in time. It represents the work of Salvador Dali, the famous Spanish painter. This costume couldn't be quainter because it's inspired by a painter. Spain.
Sri Lanka. This national costume is made from a hand-loom fabric with seashells for an island twist. It's adorned in pearls, the jewelry her country is most famous for. Not many girls could pull off seashells and pearls like Sri Lanka.
Sweden. This outfit honors the 400-year anniversary of the Dala horse, a popular Swedish souvenir. Along with the making of this costume, 400 children were invited to paint Dala horses that were sent to kids in Nepal and Mongolia. She could teach courses on how to paint horses. Sweden.
Tanzania. This national costume is a modernized version of a traditional Tanzanian outfit. It's made from leather and wood, and Lillian said it makes her feel a bit like a tree. It's easy to see why she feels like a tree. Tanzania.
Thailand. This national costume represents an ancient story explaining the existence of thunder and lightning. Maria is seen here playing the god of thunder. Perhaps it's this Thai if you hear a roar in the sky. Thailand.
I think half of Bangkok is here tonight. Trinidad and Tobago. This costume is inspired by the cocrico, the only game bird on the island of Tobago. The bird is unique for its long tail and quaint morning calls. Bird is the word for Trinidad and Tobago.
Turkey. This outfit is inspired by the woman of the Anatolia region. This 6-foot-tall beauty feels connected to this traditional folk dance costume complete with a beautiful belt. She's looking fine in a belt that's divine. Turkey.
Ukraine. This costume honors a holy temple that is more than 1,000 years old. Elegant in front, the back opens up to reveal the famous St. Sophia Cathedral. Looking for a church? On her back you can search Ukraine.
Uruguay. This national costume is based on the national bird of her country, the taro-taro. It's a silly-looking creature with a small body and long legs. It's not absurd to be a long-legged bird when you're Uruguay.
USA. Meet the science she-woman. The she standing for sulfur and helium. This costume represents powerful women scientists who want to change the world. Forming an alliance between young women and science, it's USA.
U.S. Virgin Islands. Feast your eyes on the national bird of the U.S. Virgin Islands. She chose this costume because yellow is a color of true resilience and prosperity. In addition, 100 yellow stones adorn her headpiece. This yellow bird stands out from the herd, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Venezuela. This mirrored warrior costume represents strong Venezuelan women who are fair and balanced, intuitive, spiritual, and above all, free. There's nothing wrong with a woman as strong as Venezuela.
Vietnam. This traditional Vietnamese dress features several cultural looks. Most recognizable are the large conical hats and color combinations inspired by local festivals. A pointy hat is where it's at when you're Vietnam.
Zambia. Isabel wanted a national costume that truly represented her country, and two things came to mind: copper and her national bird, the eagle. It's always proper to dress like a bird made of copper. Zambia. All right, well, what'd you guys think?
Saw a lot of birds tonight. We learned a lot about history.
Yes, yes. If you want to know anything about birds or carnival, this is the place to come. So I think the big thing you take away from this is, look, they spent a lot of time, put a lot of effort into these costumes. Let's give them one last big round of applause.
Make sure they can hear you back there. There we go. Make sure you guys are all tuning into the show this coming Sunday, the 26th.
Correct.
Yes, we want to see you there. We want to see you hashtagging and tweeting and connecting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino, and have a great night. Thanks.
Good night.